At the beginning of the 20th century, physics was going through a silent crisis. The instruments of the time revealed disturbing discrepancies that challenged classical laws. No one could explain why the theory failed so shockingly until a man dared to propose the unthinkable. Before continuing, do not forget to subscribe and give like if you are liking this content. Your support is fundamental to continue creating more videos about science and fascinating discoveries. That man was Max Planck, known as a serious and meticulous physicist. However, he decided to propose a hypothesis that he considered almost absurd. Energy does not flow continuously, but in discrete packages called how many. This little trick would prove to be the beginning of a scientific revolution. Planck proposed that the energy of radiation emitted by a hot body comes in multiples of a minimum amount, proportional to the frequency of radiation. This constant, now known as Planck constant, allowed to derive a formula that was surprisingly consistent with experimental data. The solution not only solved a technical problem, but forced abandoning fundamental beliefs. Planck, an advocate of the second law of thermodynamics, had to accept that it was not absolute, but statistical. This represented a philosophical break in the understanding of the universe. In a few years, classical physics was swept away by new rules that included probability and uncertainty. The microscopic world ceased to be a miniaturized version of the everyday world and began to obey radical laws. Thus, quantum physics, a paradigm shift, was born. Max Planck considered himself a reluctantly revolutionary, as his goal was not to redefine the universe, but to solve a specific problem. However, many others, like Einstein and Bohr, took his formula and took it even further, expanding quantum theory. Quantum transformed our way of understanding reality. The electrons ceased to be small balls and became clouds of probability. Determinism was displaced by indetermination, changing the vision of the universe that had guided science for centuries. The importance of Planck lies in opening the window to the invisible, allowing matter and energy to be displayed in surprising ways. His legacy is palpitated in every quantum experiment and in every fundamental question about the nature of reality. Planck's story and the appearance of quantum reminds us that sometimes the only way forward is to accept the irrational. It is a testimony to the power of intuition and of the human mind to imagine the invisible, inviting us not to conform to the obvious. Finally, Genius of Quantum is not just a collector's edition, but an exciting journey through the human mind. Through its pages, tribute is paid to those who defied the known and submitted to the vertigo of the uncertain.